Afternoon, everybody. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I was having a bit of a tech issue. Well, I'm sure it was me and not the tech, but I'm just saying. It felt like I was having a bit of a tech issue. Alrighty, so happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy hump day. I'm just finding you on here so I can see any questions you may have. Oh God, I can hear myself talking. Isn't that just hideous? Right, isn't it awful hearing your own voice? Right. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to do some art journaling. Now, it's going to be almost not so much a follow-on from the live I did on the Bee Crafty page last night, but it's just going to have some of the similar elements because I got my Dylusion sprays out and I haven't had them out for a while. And it's one of those sort of realised how much I missed them. But also, something I did say on the live last night, because I was using texture stamps and whatever, and I was like, oh, you know, I reckon I could just use texture stamps or just border stamps forever and I wouldn't need any feature stamps like the butterflies or whatever. So I thought that's what I'd do today. I would use some of my Dylusions Ink Sprays. Hi Shireen, did you not see the live last night, darling? Is that bad? There was lots on last night, there wasn't there? There was lots to watch. Which is brilliant, of course. Absolutely fantastic. So I thought I'll go with that, Dylusion sprays, and focus on some border stamps. But what I've also done is I have stamped and chopped up every single sentiment that's in the Bee Crafty small words stamp. I'm sure Sammy will get you a link for that in a minute. Because I'm going to use these as almost just like to dot them about to make sort of like an affirmation sort of page. So I've got my Dina Wakley. You were feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, darling, you should have messaged or something. So I thought I'll keep going in my Dina Wakley journal. This is my Dina Wakley Media Journal. If you haven't seen these before, I know a lot of you have, but I never like to assume because that's rude. And we do get, you know, as one of the admins, I do get new, approved new requests to join the group every single day. There's so many people joining. So, please, if you are new, please share your makes. We absolutely would love to see them. If there's anything you're stuck with, let us know. We absolutely love it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little look through. And, in fairness, shall I just go straight onto this page here? That's probably a good idea. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to get a bit of this, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to block off that white bit where that edge is so that I can see, so that when you think the page isn't done and then you lift it up and it is done. What do we think? And then I can always put something in the gap later if I decide I don't like it. Okay, so yeah, what we'll do is we'll just put that right about there. Okay, I just might take a pencil to that. Assuming I have a pencil. Well, I definitely do have a pencil. Assuming I know where my pencil is. Dum dum dum. I'll use a micron and just do a really faint line. I should just temporarily remind myself I'm not left-handed. Doesn't have to be exact. We'll do some other stuff over it anyway. But just so I can see where I'm working. Okay, and then that will leave that white section so it looks like the page isn't done, and then you flip it over and it is. I might even cut a sort of different shape, decorative edge on there. That would be quite cool, I think. That would be quite cool. Right, so I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go for, so yesterday you can see I was spraying through our Inkables to the Chrysanthemum 6x6 to get this background. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some gesso. I've got some Pretty Gets Gritty white gesso here. And we're just going to put a little bit onto this page. And the reason I didn't gesso that other page, and I have to say, I was really impressed by how the Dylusions Ink Spray, because they're so fluid and they do travel. I was so impressed how they didn't go through the white sort of handmade paper effect in this journal. So I was pretty impressed with that. Can't lie. So I'm just going to go on there because I want to do a sort of, I know I'm gessoing, I know, but it's because I want to have a sort of ink pooling, ink running effect. So what I'll do is I will put some water on here and then get the Dylusions ink, to travel slightly. And then, like I say, I'm just going to stick to textures and border stamps. That's all I'm going to use today. No feature stamps at all. And I'm quite excited for it. I think it's going to give it a really, really interesting look. So, and that's drying up already. So, absolutely lovely. Hello, Dominique. Right, so have we all been making this week? Have we made anything? Have we stamped anything? Have we coloured anything in? Have we got painty? I know some weeks it's just easier than others, and some weeks it's absolutely impossible, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my not completely dirty paint water, which is, you know, novel, and I'm going to put some of this right across the middle of the page. I'm going to get it quite wet. Okay, and this is going to enable me to have some control, because something with your Dylusions ink sprays is control is not really their wheelhouse. Okay, so we're going to put some ink down here, some of the water down here, and then we're going to run it the other way, hopefully get a few more natural sort of drips than the ones I'm forcing. Okay, so I don't know if you can see where that's going just now. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put these in to where the water is, to create. So you can see I dropped a bit there and it hasn't moved at all because it's not already on the water. But you see there's a drop there, so I can just put that in there. Okay, so I'm going to run that slightly, but I don't want to go over that line. But you see, because I didn't paint right to the line with the water, it hasn't gone over it. Do you see that? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm going to dry that up. Now these will reactivate with water, so you know you are going to have to sort of make your piece in a way with a certain amount of blending. Again, if you were using your Dylusions gloss sprays, for example, in a similar way, because you can move them with water too, absolutely, when they're wet. You can, but the difference with those is once you heat set them and they're dry and they're permanent and they're not going to go anywhere. So if you want to layer colours up completely independently, for want of a better description, even with that water that's not going through, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. I quite like those sideways ones. Maybe I couldn't have done that if I'd have tried. What does that say about me? Who knows? Right. Now, hopefully what you can see here as well is the lovely sort of multi-tonal effect you can get. What did I use after gesso? Water, my darling. And then Dylusions Ink Spray. That's it. That's all I've used so far. I've used the Pretty Gets Gritty white gesso, okay, which you can see has suffered from a cast-off. Some water from my paint water because it's clean enough to use, which is a surprise to all of us, and some Dylusions Ink Spray. Okay, so we're going to dry that off. But yeah, so what you can see is you get really sort of, you know, without being too much of a goon about it, multifaceted colour. Okay, and that's just with one spray. And this is something crafting together with all brands is about for me, but also what Bee Crafty is about. It's using, neither myself or Sam, because we understand, you know, having a crafty budget. Believe me, I do. Every time I look at the Ranger website, I do. it's difficult, if not impossible, to own absolutely everything. I don't own every single distress ink, or well, I have all the mini distress inks. I don't have all the distress oxides. I don't have all of the gloss sprays. I don't have this. But what's important is that we stock products that you can do lots of things with. You can create that. So, for example, you know, we all have a budget to run to. Some of them are higher than others. Absolutely, I get that. But what we want to make sure is that we stock products that will do several things for you. Okay? So it's not something you buy. You can do the one thing with it, and then you're sort of stuck because it won't do anything else. It's what it is all it is sort of thing. And we don't like that. We like things that will really sort of be useful across your crafting. Okay? And this is where, like, the Dylusions spray and gloss sprays and stuff like that work for me. They work in different ways, but they're all very multifunctional, for want of a better description. Okay, now you'll see where the water has gone over the bubblegum pink here is wicking some of that bubblegum pink away, which is really good. But again, what we're going to do is we're going to tip with our lemon zest and then tip back. Stuff you get your money's worth from, exactly. Now, from here, you'll see, as well, you're also getting the bonus of this beautiful sort of orange hue that's been generated inside where your lemon zest and bubblegum pink have met. Okay? Where's my towel? It's there. So we're just going to dry this off. Now, because of the gessoing, okay, what that does is it just means it gives your... I mean, I am still surprised, though, that it hasn't gone through with the amount of water I've put on. But what it does, it keeps it more movable. The cardstock in the media journal is particularly... it's got sort of got like a handmade texture. And I think it's particularly absorbent. Okay, so you do want to be careful. Well, I thought you had to be more careful, in fairness, about absolutely soaking it. The reason I've gessoed this is not because I'm worried about it going through. It's actually because I wanted to make the ink more movable, which it has done, which is cracking. Okay, so we're just going to dry this on, and then we're going to add on some paint flicks in those colours. One of the main reasons I want to add the paint flicks on is I want to show you the intensity of colour between what we have watered out and, you know, if you're going on direct. Now, like what I was trying to say, and I've got off piste a little, is if you are going on directly with your ink flicks on this and it's not gessoed, it will spread a bit more. But because we're on a gesso surface here, it will pool. Okay? It's taking a while. Let's just see if we can run it slightly. Just spread it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so again, with your ink sprays, it's not... It is quite a peachy colour, actually, Sammy. You know, it's not about just spraying through them all the time, because I know a lot of people worry about the cast off, but you can paint with them really beautifully. One of the things I said last night about people that are worrying about the cast off, one of the best ways I've found if you're working in a space that you're worried about getting dirty, you know, I know a lot of you craft on your dining room table or in the corner of your bedroom, so you don't, and they do, there is quite a big cast off spray. Doesn't bother me too much, everything in here is covered already. But a cereal box is actually a really good thing, because it's a nice big box, but you take off like the long side and you can just sit your thing in there and go from there. Works really, really nicely. Okay, so like I said, but then we're going to take our lemon zest and we're going to go in here with some of our, and we're going to be quite liberal with it. We're going to put quite a bit on. And again, we are going to dry between colours because I want them to stay as separate as they can. I want a little bit of blending, but not a lot. So we're going to keep them a little bit of blending. Okay, exactly. If you look here, there's a real nice feather, Shireen. And I think it looks so pretty. And it's a really good colour palette. That if you like to work with distress, stamp in distress, blend with distress or whatever, I think it works really well. Or if you're looking for sort of inky paint feel, but you don't want to spray, again, this works really, really pretty. Okay, so I will lift this up in a second once I've done the pink ones. You can see they dry really quick. You know, if you're an impatient crafter like me, and I'm very clear that's not criticism, the Dylusions Ink Sprays are absolutely fantastic. Okay. Oh my god, are you talking about chocolate? Yum, 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 yum. Love chocolate. So, here we go. We're going to go on with our pink. Alrighty, and then we're going to again so you'll see, you're talking about the feathering, Shireen. You'll see where something was maybe not completely dry, it is feathering out the splashes a little bit. You can see more up here as well. But I think you'll have seen that's a really easy way to get a really sort of inky, arty effect. That if you don't like this, you know, you do worry about getting too mucky. I mean, even I, the queen of mucky hands, look, I've got one little bit of pink. So, you don't have to get totally mucky if you don't want to, which is fab. Alright, so what I'm going to do is these are the two colours. Now, I hadn't pre-chosen these colours. It could just have easily have been like a mushy piece, because that's the one I was using last night. Sorry, just let me quickly digress. Isn't mushy pea a fantastic colour? I'd forgotten how good it was, and I was so happy with it. But anyway, so many layers without there being layers. Well, Shireen, that is exactly how I like to craft. I craft in layers, but not layers of paper and cardstock and paper and cardstock and paper and cardstock. I craft in layers of paint and ink. So you build it up. Like the people that are talented on like computer graphics programs, they add stuff in layers, don't they? And that's exactly what I do here. So for example, we went pink, lemon zest dots, pink dots, and we sort of work our way up. Okay, now this is where with your distress oxides, when these came in, they became a bit of a game changer, because with your Dylusion sprays, okay, and your distress ink, for example, you have to start with your lightest and work your way to your darkest. There's no other way of doing it, because your light won't show on top of your dark. But your oxides, you can get away with putting a lighter colour. You can put an orange on top of, or you can put a yellow on top of a blue. You can, and it will work up slightly different if it's dry. So this is where, you know, you can really do that. But anyway, so we've gone with our lemon zest and bubblegum pink Dylusion sprays today. So I'm going to go with the mustard seed and picked raspberry oxide. We're going to be doing some stamping and a little bit of Inkables work with those as well. Okay, so I've got my triangles and stripes 6x6 Inkable. These are really good for adding on different bits. The reason I did both patterns on one template is I thought I was like, well, I don't need a full 6x6 of this design or a full 6x6 of this design, which again is another reason that we've now developed the tag templates, because it gives me that sort of height with that. So it's, you know, it's all about getting the right things. I'm so sorry, I'm doing a random look around. I can't see my blending brushes. There they are. It's alright, my husband was in here this morning, so who knows. I make that sound like this room's massive. It's an overgrown cupboard. Right, so we need my pink brush and my yellow brush. Okay, so we're going to go in with the picked raspberry, and I'm going to go with the triangles starting slightly off the page. I think it gives a more, like it's actually flowing onto the page rather than you've just started here. Do you see what I mean? Go up to the line again. And blend that on top. I'm the real Hermione Granger. I've got the hair for it. Alright. And then I'm going to spritz that bit of ink that's left on there. Then we're going to use that, go into that plain bit. Will Dylusions shimmer sprays also react after they've dried? Yeah, they will. Okay, let me wipe the rest of that on my towel, and then we'll just heat set this. And that way, not only have you not wasted any ink, okay, you've added that fabulous piece there, bringing it all together. I find the trick with any of my crafting is making it like I did it all on purpose. When, let's face it, we all know that happy accidents are not just, oh, I had a bit of a happy accident today. I literally have them every single time I craft. Every single time. And that comes from, because you don't know, for example, when you're blending through your Inkable, you know, I mean, just look. Sorry, I'm going to have to lift this up for you a second. If you just look at that section there, okay, and then you can still see like the dots in from underneath, because they were dried properly. It hasn't fully dispersed and everything, you see, so you keep that. It's almost like this little galaxy effect, but in the shape of the Inkable. Absolutely stunning. Right. Yeah, the thing is, the stuff you can't plan for exactly, you know, how much ink's going to be left on your Inkable, so you don't know how much of that you're going to be able to use or which section. So therefore, you know, a vast majority of my crafting I would describe as happy accidents, because that's just how it develops and progresses, basically. Right, and then I'll use my mustard seed to create some stripes. Okay, and then again, we'll take our mister. I have just sent a load of those little sentiments I showed you flying. Very me, isn't it? Again, missed that. But I actually don't want it on this page, because I've sort of got as much as I want on there. So I'm going to go to another one, a bit further down. Here we go. We'll put that on there. And then that will be ready for me. Yup. Next time I'm ready to start a page. So that's a good bit of texture already started on that page. Which will be great if I'm really wanting to do some art journaling and I've got no idea what colours I want to start with or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just quickly drying off these distress inks, primarily so I don't stick my arm in them, and rub them all the way across. Okay. Then I'm going to go to, I've got a couple of different border sets out. I've got the Bee Crafty texture borders. They really need a clean. This one stopped sticking to the acetate. and my stitchy borders. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of randomly pick off several of them. I am going to take this one first. It's sort of like a distressed little dot pattern. Okay, and I'm going to go down the line we drew. Okay, I'm going to go down that with this stamp. Or just matching it up as we go down. And then I'm going to take the just the regular zigzag stitch. I have just done something that I constantly tell you not to do. Turn myself inside out. I'll turn my journal around for the next one. Don't think I've got another one in me, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the zigzag stitch to go all the way down that line there. Okay, so I'm going to get my VersaFine Clair. I'm going to do that in black. Because like I said, I wanted to do some stamping in black anyway, because I want to bring those little words in a minute. And we're going to go straight down that line. Okay. And then we'll turn the stamp around. And straight down that line there. Okay. So then that has given us effectively the seam. Embedded in that is a sewn seam down the edge. Okay. Awesome. All right. So now what I'm going to do... Hi, Claire! So now what I'm going to do... I will say, as always, if there's anything in particular you would like to see whilst I'm here, and you're thinking, I do wish you'd show that, honestly, please ask. That is why we're here. And even if, you know, we can't get it today, I might get back to it or something, in which case I can get back to you, which is awesome. Alrighty. So then I'm going to go on with this one. Now, this is sort of like a rough painty sort of edge. It's on the stitch borders set, but it is sort of like a painty edge, which is really, really pretty. I'm just going to get this, and I'm just going to put this here a second. Okay, because I'll tell you for what, I want to do this at different sort of lengths. On here. Okay, so it's given us that sort of accented bit there. Very pretty. And then I'm going to go back to the texture borders. Okay. And I'm going to put the little flag pennants on. These are cool. And I'm going to go in with my picked raspberry. And do that straight across the bottom there, because I just wanted to. That's why, you know. And that is as good a reason as any, my darlings. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a zigzag, aren't I, along there like a pennant. That's going to take me a while, so I will do that off camera and do a picture later. I'll do a picture as soon as I have time, to be fair, because tomorrow is Abby's birthday, so I've got a few bits I've got to do later. Right. And then, you know what, that one, I'm going to go straight down there. Oh, that is cool. Put that in there as well. Fantastic. Right, I'm just going to quickly look at something, actually. Yeah, so that's still not coming out. So in fairness, I could stamp some pennants there and then cut them out. That would probably be easier, wouldn't it? Haven't quite decided yet, so we will leave. We'll leave that one with me. All right, what I've also got is I've got Sam's new background stamps that she launched in December. Okay, we have Art Textures 1 and Art Textures 2. That's made it more confusing. We have Art Textures 1 and Art Textures 2. Okay. I just said I was going to fill it in. Yes, I know. But I'm still thinking. Leave it with me. Alright. So here, what I think is going to work best. Now, I absolutely love the squiggles on here. But I think with the triangles and the straight lines and everything we've been putting on here, okay, it might stay white, but I might not. I'm not going to make any rush decisions. Okay, I'm thinking these triangles here in these circles, especially, will make an absolutely beautiful look. So I think we'll add the triangles first. Whilst I'm thinking. And here's the thing, okay, so look how dirty my fingers are getting now, and that's with me stamping. So in fairness, you can't blame the Dylusion sprays for all the mess, because sometimes it's just me. Noreen, please can you show us how to leave white space on a page? You're totes hilarious, Noreen. Totes hilarious. I apologise for anyone who is new, who thinks, you know, well, you're probably right, sarcasm is unbecoming, but Noreen is trying to be a cheeky monkey because I'm rubbish at white space. She did make it funny though, so I'll give her that. Right, so I'm going to put that there. Okay, but again, I want it coming off the page, but I wanted to start there. But I want it to come off the page so it looks like this is part of almost like a bigger one. Noreen is a shenanigator. That is one of mine and Sam's favourite words. We did actually, I'm not sure if we made it up or whatever, but a shenanigator, an instigator of the shenanigans. Right, so we're going to put that there. So now it just looks like a much longer thing. And this is the really good thing. With the interlinking circles, squares, triangles that Sam's done, you can extend them. Because you don't even have to worry about lining them up, because it's just a case of stamping them over. It's Lewis! Hello, Chuck! So, you know, you can just link them together, which makes that really, really cool. Alright? So we'll go with that there. And again, you could use your Dylusion sprays to colour in. Right. Yes. Do you know what? No, I'm not going with the circles. I'm not. Okay. What I am going to do, though, is I have the, I don't have the backing card. That's gone somewhere. Is I have the small words here. Again, these are really, really handy. They're so cool. I will try and straighten that one up, because when I tried to cut it out and it was wonky, that was annoying. Right. And what I'm going to do with these, okay, is I'm going to ink it up. Yes, they are just on their acetate sheet. I have not put them on an acrylic block. Okay. And then I am going to put them on there to get the first stamp off. And then I'm going to put them on here. I'm going to put them on here. Because I didn't want that intense first stamp. I wanted it to be second stamp, so that it sort of created the background rather than dominated it. Alright? Cool. Okay. And then from here, and this is my fan, it's almost going to be like what's the word people use? Affirmation, like an affirmation page. So I'm going to take pretty much all of the small words. Okay. And we're going to put these on here to create what I think is a really sort of nice, you know, keep going sort of page, which is brilliant. The thing is, you can piece them together however you want, of course. And you can decide where you want them to be. Okay? And basically what I wanted to show you was that, well, for a start, I was trying to prove it to myself because last night I did specifically use the words, I reckon I could do this without any feature stamps. Well, you can. Well, no, I can. But, you know, so you do have the small words. And I've put them in the background as well. But that beautiful background, that is, which I'm so chuffed with, I can't even tell you. You know, you can use that on your cards. You can use it on scrapbook pages. It's just one of those things. It's so, like we were saying about the products being versatile. It's a junk word and I hate it and I'm sorry, but the, you know, the word for versatile is versatile. That's sort of it. What you can do is, you know, you can use those and create your own backing papers. It's not just for your art journal, but I do think more and more people are picking up an art journal and having a go. If nothing else, it's a great place to practice technique. It's a great place to play with maybe some new stash. Okay. Whilst I have you though, can someone explain to me why I'm a plonker and I started sticking at the bottom and not the top? You know, if anybody's got any sort of insight for that, that'd be great. But I'm pretty sure I'm unexplainable in many, many ways. And it's not always a case of, well, I can't choose. I like all the sentiments. Well, then, do you know what? Use them all. Really have fun. I will say as well, for those of you that are watching that are neat people, you know, obviously you can, of course, cut out your small words in a lovely, neat way. I'm not at all insisting you have to be as, shall we say, haphazard with your scissors as I am. But I can quite honestly tell you, it's because I don't mind. It's this bottle of Distress Medium is really nearly empty. You know, I like it. It's sort of, it would be weird for me to worry about it. It really would. Okay, so we're just going to stick all these on. And then we're going to put up here. And then, oh, stop, nope. What you can do, and probably what I will do, is you could use your Secura pens, your microns, anything like that. And you could highlight different bits of the phrases in different colours, or different, you know, just scribble around them, give them stitchy edges, things like that. I might add a bit of that in, but I honestly don't know because I am quite happy with it. But it was just to show that even with just your textures, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I do get quite caught up in when I see texture stamps and border stamps because I know they're they're going to be useful forever. I'm not going to change my mind on a nice texture set or a nice border set. I know I'm going to be able to keep using it. So I think sometimes it's just nice to say, do you know what? I've probably got lots of those. What can I make just using them? And I think this sort of leans itself to that really, really well. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Because in all honesty, now this just has to sort of dry. So I think we're pretty much done. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with that white bit. I actually really like it as it is, so I actually might leave it. But I am going to give it some sort of a decorative edge. So I may even cut it off, so it's a shorter page. Leave it alone. Oh, you're funny. You're funny. Okay. Right, okay then, guys. So, if that's what we're looking for at the minute, thank you so much for joining me today. As always, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. We have Sam Thompson coming up later tonight in Crafting Together with All Brands. This live will obviously stay in the group, but it will also be going on to our YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up with any of our other videos, it's there. I saw a couple of people did ask about the one I did last night. That is on the Bee Crafty page, or again, I will be putting it on the YouTube channel later. Again, if I've got time. It's a very busy evening, because like I say, it's the big kid's birthday tomorrow. Alright then, guys, you're having pancakes for French Pancake Day today. Absolutely fantastic. Alright then, guys, thank you so much for joining me, like I said, and have a great rest of your week. Fellow of me words. Bye bye.